fight fans, welcome to another great episode of Headicks and Hayakers. I am your boy Bodkins. Of course, with me is my brother from another mother, Wit. What is good, my man? And we have another action-packed show. We got to start with well, actually, we need to start a little bit with back to UFC 303 again. Ariel Helwani has now reported that within the last 2 days that this whole Conor Chandler card is back up in limbo. It seemed like when we last spoke last Wednesday, everything was going to be A-okay. But here we are 7 days later, and they're saying, shit, maybe it's not okay. It seems like Chandler is some sort of he's banged up, or not Chandler, but McGregor is banged up and hurt. Who knows? But the UFC is sending out feelers, maybe backup plans, a backup fighter. But there is no backup fighter to Conor McGregor.
Bro, you said a mouthful, but at the same time, you said very little. The idea is, who can you get to replace Conor? Nobody. The anticipation. The
only person I could maybe think of, and he's not on a Conor level, is Nate Diaz.
And the idea is someone exciting enough to bring the eyes to the table would be someone like Nate Diaz. You know, if all of a sudden you said, well, Conor McGregor can't fight, but somehow, some way, we got like maybe a meaningless heavyweight fight in there or something like that. I don't know.
There's not. That's the thing. Is like you got and there's not in the way this card is built. There's no titles. There's no nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's. I think Nate Diaz is. You know what I mean? They headlined Diaz. It's supposed to be Diaz and Chimaev, and they did. You know that didn't work out. What was that, last year or so? It ended up being Diaz and Tony Ferguson.
Right.
The only other person that's the only other name I can think of that has that star power where you could do Diaz and Chandler.
Right. And the thing is, you know, with the UFC, it has a tendency to build up fighters that may or may not be on a main card, main event level. What would be more exciting or as exciting as possibly seeing Conor McGregor? Almost nothing. But then when you throw in, I don't know, maybe we would have. Okay, I would have been excited to see Jamal Hill if he would have beat Alex Pereira, right? That would have been exciting.
But then he's the title. You're not putting the title on a Conor card. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. The way this card is built. Now, if you want to look at it and say, hey, well, Chandler, you're going to have to sit out. You know what I mean? Like, who is there a title? Who are the title holders that you can throw a fight in? And this fight is happening in today is June 12th in 2 weeks. This Saturday makes 2 weeks. That's 14, 15, 16 days. You're right. Looking at if they come out tomorrow and say, hey, but they got 2 weeks to try to figure this, you mentioned the only other people that haven't, I guess, like I'm looking at the title holders, I don't think that Sugar and Marab are going to fight in 2 weeks' time. Like that just is almost impossible now. You know what I mean? Like, and they want to, it seems like they were trying to hold that for the Sphere. Ilya's not going to fight Max Holloway in 2 weeks' time. Like that, you know what I mean?
If it wasn't a title fight, what would be?
Well, I'm asking you what title? The title of a title fight that could happen in 2 weeks' time would be Iri Prochazka and Alex Pereira. That's to me. That's it.
Yeah, because pretty much everybody else has been involved within the last month.
Close the last few months. I mean, I know they both fought at UFC 300, but you feel like you could make that fight. But the question is, could they both cut down in 2 weeks' time to 205? I think both of them possibly could be close.
You know who would love to fight just because of course they never get any love? it'd be Bilal Muhammad. We'd be like, hey, Bilal.
Well, I mean, Bilal's fighting it next month. He's fighting.
Yeah, I know, but if he didn't have a fight, because we skip over Bilal Muhammad so much in the world of UFC rankings and fights. If Bilal Muhammad didn't have a fight, come on, Bilal.
He's fighting for the title next month in July.
Yeah, and we're excited to see somebody like Bilal. But like, let's say there was no title involved. Who are two guys that you could put into the ring? Two journeymen. There's not a guy you can headline a pay-per-view with that his name is not Conor McGregor or Nate Diaz. For a title. I mean, for a pay-per-view. Sorry, for a pay-per-view. Yeah, for a pay-per-view.
There's not two guys people are gonna fucking pay $80 for, Whit. That are like, and this card's not that good. It's not that deep of a card.
No, it's really not. I mean, it's
Nate Diaz and Conor. Those are your two guys. Maybe Anderson Silva, but I mean, Silva's past his prime. So I mean,
we get the old Spider in the building.
John Jones, but he's got a title and he's not fighting anytime soon.
I mean, that's what I was thinking. If you go, hey John, you want to fight Jalton Almeida just for the hell of it?
No. He's not taking that fight. He's not taking that fight.
Who else you get? Yeah, let's get Derek Lewis back in there for no reason after a loss. Let's get him in.
Derek Lewis just won. He just won. Lewis won.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. After not a loss, after a tough win, after a big knockout win. Let's get Derek Lewis in there for no reason. Like, take some more money. You didn't take any damage. Come on and fight Marcin Tybura. Let's do something.
I don't think I just don't think there's a fight out there. They got to figure this out, or they're gonna have to put a title on the card. And this is the thing of it is, this is International Fight Week. This is their big, you know what I mean? Like this year they look at UFC 300, International Fight Week, and the Sphere and MSG are kind of your four big cards. Now, typically International Fight Week is always the biggest fight card of the year, but because we had UFC 300, that changes it.
I mean, yeah, what's
up, Rob?
What's up, Rob? The idea, of International Fight Week is more like, especially when it's in Vegas, that's when the lights are somewhat brighter.
Yeah,
like we were so front loaded with UFC 300, like
they hitched their wagon to a guy who hasn't fought in 2 years and is coming off a broken leg and has been roided up and coked up and
partying,
there's no one but Nate and Conor that passed that test. Yeah, I agree, Rob. There's nobody that they can put on the on there that can headline a pay-per-view without a title, unless it's Nate Diaz or Conor McGregor. They've only really they did it for Colby and Jorge Masvidal last year in March, I think it was. And that fight was, or maybe that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I think it was,
yeah.
Kobe,
I mean, nonetheless, like, it's been a while, so they don't do it very often, and it's usually for a huge guy. And Jorge doesn't have the, you know what I mean, the name anymore. He's had too many losses. Poor Mike Chandler. You just gotta hope and pray that Conor can be healthy. The thing of it is, UFC hasn't said anything.
Yeah, and as we see down there in the comments, if you throw it up,
Max Holloway. I mean, but is he fighting Mike Chandler? No, Rob. I mean, who's he going to fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, Max has got to fight. He's got a title shot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
that's all Mike. That's all Max has right now. If it's really not for the title, there's really damn near no reason to put him in the ring. And I can honestly say that I would love to see, Max at maybe at lightweight.
Well, I mean, who you gonna? Yeah, he wouldn't have to cut down to 145. I mean, he's gonna fight Ilya eventually. I think that's a fight to make sometime this year,
right.
The back end of this year, unless he puts the BMF title on. But then who are you gonna do? You ain't gonna. Mike Chandler's not getting down to 155. He's already said that right now. He can't. Like, he's too close.
He's too.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen him, but he's real beefy.
Yeah, Mike Chandler. Mike Chandler's like one of one of those pug pit bulls. You know what I'm saying? Like he gets big and stocky, but it's just really compact. It's in a compact package.
So he's not getting down to 155, and there's no way Max Holloway's going up to 170. Like, that's just crazy. He probably walks around 170, but he ain't fighting freaking Mike Chandler at 170.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely walks around at 170. I got a chance to see a TikTok video of Max skateboarding in Hawaii, and he
says big. Max Chandler. I just don't like it, Rob. And I just don't think Max. That's just way too big if they're going to fight at 170. It'd be different if Chandler said, "Yeah, I can get down to 155," but he's already said it's too late in the game for him right now to get down to 155. He's already been training to fight at 170, and I heard him in an interview say he's like, "I can't get down to 155," and like right now, like he has to take a strict diet and things like that. We're talking 2 weeks away, 16, roughly 14 days away.
Yeah, man, that would be murder on
Max would probably do it because Max is that dude. And so I will agree with that, Rob. Like, if they're going to put the BMF title and say it's Max Chandler, I mean, you could almost sell me on that. But if it was at 155, I guarantee I would sign up for it. But at 170, you're asking Max to go up 2 weight classes, and he's not a